Abandon all notion of division. This means abandoning that fundamental notion of division into a person here and a world out there. Rest in self-knowledge with your awareness extending just a little outside. Well, that's a curious injunction. Rest in self-knowledge. I think the idea that's been building up, or which can build up, is that the yogi is somehow imperturbable. But there's still this world going on outside, which he's not going to be affected by. It's not a helpful notion. And I think the idea maybe here is that you just do enough to keep yourself going. You extend your awareness, you engage as little as possible, just enough to keep yourself physically operational. But really, your awareness should be extending totally, encompassing everything. And I think from the point of view of self-inquiry, what we can do is, what we can understand here by extending the awareness just a little outside is you extend it as little as possible in the sense of time. In order to engage with things, the attention has to go out. The attention has to go out of itself. It has to identify with objects. It has to identify with notions. It has to identify with notions of diversity and an external world. It has to go along with that mode of understanding. It has to go along with the conventional reality, the scientific reality even, the cultural reality. But you should do that as little as possible. And when you don't need to do it, bring the attention back to itself. So I think this is how it is from the point of view of self-inquiry. The attention is normally out there wandering, doing whatever it wants, blown here and there by our disposition. But we're going to bring it back in. We don't let it out any more than it needs to go out. Thus you're utterly at rest, as if in deep sleep within yourself, whether you are active externally or not so active, whether you hold on to something or abandon something. You will then be totally free from all disharmony, since you realize the non-distinction between the waking and the deep sleep states. The waking and deep sleep states are not usually understood literally. The waking state is the belief in an external world. The deep sleep state is being impervious to the notions of an external world. And that distinction itself is also notional. It's like the distinction between Brahman and non-Brahman. It's all Brahman. It's all consciousness at work, consciousness doing its thing. Thus, by the practice of self-awareness, which is beginningless and endless, you will gradually reach the supreme state of consciousness, in which there is no duality, and which is beyond all materiality. It's beyond notions of materiality or non-materiality. It's also beyond all non-materiality. In it there is neither unity nor diversity, but supreme peace. There's a supreme sense of being, which is not affected by what's apparently going on round about. There will be demands to act, to behave in certain ways. That sense of being is not going to be affected. That realization of pure consciousness is not going to be affected. Ram asked, "If such be the truth concerning the ego-sense, O sage, how do you appear here, being called Vasishta?" So again, this is the understanding that if the liberated one has transcended the ego sense, how do they actually operate as an individual? When Rama said this, Vasistha became totally silent. The members of the assembly were concerned. Seeing this, Rama asked again, "Why are you silent, O sage? There is nothing in the whole world which a holy sage is unable to answer." Vasistha replied, "I was silent not because I could not answer, but because silence is the only answer to your question." Silence is probably the best answer most of the time, because there are a lot of words here, and these words can only be justified if we're actually turning ourselves away from the words. If the words are being used like a mirror to point us in the direction of our own self. But when you've got a lot of words, then there's a tendency to get caught up in the words. So now and again it's good just to sit and listen to the silence.